Okay, so in this video, I want to talk about an indicator, or rather a tool that is way more powerful than the RSI or the MACD in terms of divergences. So if you have been trading or trying to trade MACD divergences, RSI divergences, which are very popular when you start trading. If you've been trying to do that and it hasn't been working out for you, well, watch this video because you're gonna see what kind of similar kind of principle with the divergence you can use on a different indicator. The principles are going to be the same, but it's going to make a lot more sense. It's going to be a lot more powerful because it actually has to do with what real buyers and real sellers are doing in the market. Okay, so this is the last trade I took just using this strategy. Well, it's a combination of two strategies. The first part here, because you can't see the indicator right now, I don't have it here. I have it on TradingView right here. I'll get back to it in a minute. This is the profit I made here on my Top Step Combine. The first part, I'm going to talk to you about this quickly because that's very important. I have a lot of videos on this. So if you want to learn about where to know where the big smart money orders are, 67, in this case, 67 buy contracts were sitting at this price at 33.28 here on gold futures. So if you want to know about that, I have some videos just talking about this, and you can learn to figure out where they actually set their orders, where the big smart money, the big banks, the hedge funds, where they set their orders. Just to go quickly on that, you go to YouTube, you go check out a channel like OTL Signals. Don't follow the signals, they're terrible. But this guy essentially shares his Bookmap live every day, okay? And don't worry about most of this. I know this is a little bit confusing or overwhelming. Just look at this column here. It's called the current order book, the COB, current order book. And here you have all of the buy orders in green and the sell orders in red. Okay, so you can figure out at what price you have big orders. You can look, oh, okay, at 33.30, there's 61 buy orders. That's interesting. I'm going to write that down and see if I get a reaction. If you want to learn more about this, how to use the COB and how to trade it, just go check out my previous video. I passed the challenge in just 3 days just using that strategy, figuring out where these buy and sell orders are. But what I'm doing here for this video is combining these very powerful levels in terms of limit orders, right, from the smart money, combining that with, now we're getting to it, with the actual indicator or the tool called the CVD, the Cumulative Volume Delta. So let's start first things first, where you're going to find it. You're going to go in indicators here on TradingView, okay, indicators, click on indicators. In the search bar, you're going to type in CVD. Mine is already saved. There's a little star, but it's this one, Cumulative Volume Delta. That's it. Okay, so you're going to find it in that list somewhere, right? There's many different ones, but you just the basic one, CVD, Cumulative Volume Delta. So you click on that, and now you're going to have this, which looks a lot like candles from a regular candle chart, but it's actually like very powerful and interesting, and we're going to get into it right now. Okay, so here at this level we had my box, right? We had, I'm just going to take it off because I don't want, I want to keep the chart as clean as possible. But we know that at this level we had a lot of buy orders, okay? Remember that. Again, I'm deleting it, but in this area we have a lot of buy orders. Now, you know what a basic chart is. A red candle, we're going down. We're going from one price to a lower price, right? We opened the candle at 3.26 and we went down to 3.3, whatever. Okay, so red candle, we're going down. If you don't know that, you shouldn't be watching this video. And what the CVD gives you is to make it just to make it simple for now, and then I'll explain in more detail, is giving you, if you have in each candle more sellers than buyers, right? If this candle is red, it means that there were more sellers than buyers. And you would think, yeah, dude, I know that. If a candle's red on the chart, it means that there's more sellers than buyers. Well, not exactly. So, by the way, these are the market buyers and sellers, what you also call the aggressive buyers and sellers, meaning the people that are clicking the button and getting a market entry, right? Clicking buy, clicking sell right now. As opposed to, well, these people that had the box right here, they had limit orders. So these are limit buyers, right? They have orders that they set an hour in advance. As we were going up, they were like, oh, well, if we retrace around here, I'm interested in buying, right? The smart money set an order there. Let me just get this back here, right? As we were going up here, smart money on Bookmap, I saw that on Bookmap, right? They put these limit orders at, I don't know, I thought it was at 1:50 p.m., right? They opened these orders that we were going up and said, if we're going back down, I want these orders to get filled, okay? Smart money did, that's limit order. Now, this, you're not seeing the limit orders here. You're just seeing the button clicking market orders, okay? Making it as clear and stupid and simple as possible. So, okay, so red candle, we've got a lot of sellers, we're going down, red, 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 red. Now, what happens here? Because this is where you're gonna see that actually, if there's more buyers than sellers, if there's more sellers in a candle, it doesn't, in a candle, it doesn't mean that the candle is actually gonna go down. And here's the proof right here. So let me zoom in here. Remember, in this area, we're in an area where there's a lot of limit orders. And look what's happening. So red candle, red, green candle, green, red candle, red, green, 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 red. You see? So here you had sellers, you had more sellers than buyers, a little bit more sellers than buyers, right, in this candle, yet price went up. How is that possible? Well, it's because there's limit orders actually pushing price up. Even though there's more market sellers clicking the sell button, there's actually limit buy orders that are more powerful and that are pushing price up, hence the green candle versus the red sellers, okay? Now what happens here? We have a red candle with sellers, but look at this. The candles here are getting lower and lower and lower. There's more market sellers here, more market sellers, more and more and more. What is price doing? It's actually kind of stagnating, ranging, but kind of going up. And the last one was here where you had another red candle and this time a real strong bullish candle. This is where my entry was, okay? So here I knew there were orders here, limit buy orders from the smart money. And I was seeing that market sellers were like trying to sell like strongly into this order. And the order was like, brah, you ain't doing shit, brah. We ain't going nowhere, right? Like Gandalf, you shall not pass, right? You shall not pass. Well, that is fucking shit impression. But this is what was going on right here, is that you had big limit orders who were just counter battling the market sellers, right? And you can see them trying so hard to sell, right? There's more and more sellers. I know I'm repeating myself. I don't care. That's how I like people to explain me stuff, because I'm a stupid guy. So I like a lot of explaining. But there it is, a lot of market sellers and price ain't budging. As a matter of fact, it ends up pushing up right here. This is where my confirmation was. Because sometimes what does happen, this is why you wait for a strong bullish candle in this case. Sometimes what does happen is that the limit order gets filled and it's holding price, it's holding strong. But at some point, the market sellers get so strong that it actually breaks through, right? Because if every time you had a limit order somewhere, price bounce, it would be too easy. Sometimes the market sellers are stronger than the limit orders. That does happen. But when you see that, when you see this absorption, by the way, this is what you call absorption. I talk about it in all of my videos. So if you want to learn more about general absorption and how these concepts work, just watch the other videos. But basically, it's simple. The limit buyers are absorbing like a sponge, right? You're putting water in the sponge, and yet the water is not dropping on the other side because the sponge is absorbing the water. So the limit order is absorbing the market sellers, right? And sometimes there's so much water, so much market sellers, that the water actually goes through the sponge. That's the best analogy I can make for you. Okay, so I had my confirmation that was a win. So I was combining two strategies. So by the way, this is, yeah, the whole thing is talking about divergences. If you know what a divergence is on an RSI or a MACD, well, it's the same. But this, you can see now how much more powerful this is. Because first of all, in combination with my main strategy, which is the one with the limit orders, okay? But this is even more, it's way more powerful than the RSI because you're seeing the actual sellers right here. You're seeing them fail. You know that these are sellers, red candle, red, red, red. And you see the price saying, nah, man, I ain't going nowhere. This is way, way more powerful than the RSI or the MACD. And I lost so much trading the RSI divergences. It's the first strategy that I pretty much ever learned. And I tried for like a full year. And you know, I tried everything pretty much. But RSI, I tried, then it failed, then I tried something else, then came back to the RSI, then discovered the MACD, so tried the same thing with the MACD. Never worked. It works rarely. And every trader that I know who is a profitable trader, by the way, if you figured out RSIs and you're profitable, screw me, dude. You're doing great. Close my video, don't follow me, unfollow me if you're following me. Like, if you're doing good, you're doing good. And that's what matters, and more power to you. But if you guys have been trying RSI stuff because you're starting to trade, you've been doing it for a few months or maybe a year, and it's not working, forget about it. It's a nightmare. It never worked for me. And I tried, then tried something else, then went back to it, and then it kind of worked, and then it failed. And every profitable trader that I know tried RSI divergences and MACD divergences, and all quit because it never worked out. This is order flow. Now you know actually, well, it's kind of order flow, but you actually have, well, the limit orders, right? Watch my previous videos, you'll learn more about this. But you have the limit orders and you have the market buyers and sellers. That's all the market is. What else is it? It's limit orders and market buyers. That's what is actually happening behind your candles on the chart. That's all that you're interested in. RSI stuff is different and it's way less powerful. So, okay, look at another divergence here earlier today. So price is making a higher high. But you can see that here you had more buyers here. The level was at 2.3. You can look here, 2.9398K, and we make a higher high, and we have less buyers. So this is more exhaustion. It's not really absorption. It's more exhaustion. It's a different kind of divergence here in this case. In this case, we went higher, but there weren't that many buyers interested, so it was kind of likely to fail. But this is less of a powerful case, let's say, than what happened here. Because here you had actual limit orders, and you had people selling strongly and being absorbed. So this is the kind of setup you want. This is interesting, but forget about this. Go find your limit orders again. It's not that complicated. You can find it here on the COB, current order book, and that's a different one. Go find your limit orders and then find some absorption. We're on the 5-minute time frame here, by the way, but on the 15 minutes, usually I trade the 15. In this case, I was just curious to see what was going on in the 5-minute. I think on the 15-minute you had something pretty clear too, because these candles are green, but on the, look at that, right? Big red candle here, red candle. So red candle, no problem, no divergence. Now here, red candle, kind of, it's more of a doji, but red candle, and we're pushing up. And then here, big red candle and engulfing green candle, right? Engulfing green versus breakout red candle. So there was a lot of absorption here. And you can go back test it for yourself. Even forget about the limit order stuff. Just go in the past. I've been doing that, didn't I? Yeah. because I haven't been trading that CVD delta stuff for that long. So I was just kind of back testing this. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So here, for example, you had a bullish candle, right? And this, I'm doing this is backtesting without looking at limit orders, which is, way more important, obviously. You need to have your levels before entering, right? You don't just enter any divergence right? So look, in this case, we had here a red candle, but you had buyers. So there was some absorption here, but I don't know how strong the order was because this is just backtesting. But red candle versus green buyers. So there was some absorption, but we still went up. You do see that eventually we did go down. So there was certainly some levels in this area with some limit orders. It's just we didn't reverse from here. We went up a bit more. Green, red, green, red. There was no divergence in terms of delta here, but okay. Sorry. All right, guys, I gotta go. You can backtest that for yourself, okay? Get the CVD, right? Easy, it's free on TradingView, and backtest it for yourself. If you want to backtest it, I would advise you to backtest it on the 15-minute. It's better, okay, on the 15-minute time frame. And then if you're doing the strategy using the limit orders, then you can do it on the 5-minute, but I would still advise you to take it on the 15-minute. Just watch my previous videos. Alrighty, I hope that's useful. I hope that makes sense. It's got to make sense, right? It's got to make sense. But let me know in the comments if you want me to explain some more stuff, if you want to get more into that CVD stuff. I didn't even explain exactly what the principle of the delta within the CVD, why it's called Cumulative Volume Delta. I don't have time for this right now, but it doesn't matter. You get the idea. I'll make some more videos on this because it's great. I'll make a 5-minute video on this, just, kind of breaking down a trade or something and explaining what the CVD is a bit more. Alrighty, guys, wish you the best. See you guys in the next one.